Hi everyone, welcome to this math video. We have been talking about how we can record and analyze data, and we've already talked about line plots and tally marks. Today, we're going to talk about how we can make bar graphs, which are very useful tools. So let's start by looking at this here. Now, how many people chose football or baseball as their favorite sport? Well, we can see that there are three sports listed here. And the key, where it says key, each picture equals one vote. That tells you how to read this. So how many people chose football or baseball as their favorite sport? Are you ready for the answer? It's 9. Because what we're going to do is we're going to take the total for football, and you can see that's 6, and the total for baseball, which is 3, and add them up. 6 plus 3 equals 9. Now, a bunch of people were asked what kind of vehicle they had, what kind of car they had. And if you look at the tally marks, you can see that 8 people said they had a sedan. 8 people said they had an SUV. 3 people said they had a truck, and 5 people said they had a taxi. Now, the tally marks are pretty easy to understand, and of course we know the numbers. But let's see what all of this looks like on a bar graph. We're going to take the information from the left and put it on the right. Well, 8 sedans, which means we're going to have 8 blocks, and 8 SUVs, that's also 8 blocks. And for the truck, we're going to use 3, and for the taxi, we will add 5. Okay? And if you look very carefully at this bar graph, you can see we have our number at the bottom. Okay. We have our vehicle type on the right side. Okay. So everything is very clearly labeled. And this whole bar graph is about vehicle types. So it's very important that everything be labeled correctly, vertically and horizontally. And that's what this is. This is a horizontal bar graph because the information goes from left to right. Okay, now some people were asked what type of painting they liked. And we're going to show all of that information using this vertical bar graph. So let's see. 4 people said they liked watercolor. So I'll put a number there. 5 people said they liked oil. And 2 people said they liked pastel. Well, you can see where the words watercolor, oil, and pastel are. And now we're going to show them this way along the bottom, because what we're doing is making a vertical bar graph. And it'll look something like this. So for watercolor, we had 4. And for oil, we have 5. And for pastel, we have 2. So even though this is vertical, everything is still labeled. Okay, this is about painting. Our number is off to the side. And our choices are at the bottom, our types of paint. So a bar graph uses bars to show data. To make a bar graph, color one box for each vote. Bar graphs can look different. So again, we started with tally marks. And then we went over to numbers. And we looked at this horizontal bar graph where everything goes from side to side. And then we looked at this vertical one where the information goes from the bottom to the top. So let's look at this one here. We have a table on the left and it's labeled favorite muffin. So people were asked what their favorite muffin was. And they had four choices: blueberry, strawberry, lemon, and cherry. Four people liked the blueberry. Two people liked strawberry. Only one liked lemon. And five liked cherry. And the information is fine like that. Let's put it into a bar graph. Okay, and that's also very easy to understand. We can see which one was the most popular, which one was the least popular. Here's another one about the color of shirt that people were wearing. Four people were wearing a red shirt, six were wearing blue, two were wearing black, and five were wearing green. So we can add the numbers and then we can make our bar graph. And this is another horizontal one. Okay, and everything's clearly labeled, and it's very easy to see what the most popular and least popular shirt color is. This is always a good one. Somebody asked their class who was left-handed and who was right-handed. Well, we got our numbers from the tally marks. There were four lefties and six righties. And then you can see what that looks like on this vertical bar graph. Okay, so let's take a look at this here. We can use a bar graph to help us figure out a problem. Alyssa took a survey to find which juice pop flavor 15 friends like. 6 voted for cherry, 5 voted for grape, 2 voted for orange. The rest of her friends voted for lime, and that's the problem. We don't know how many people voted for lime, but we can easily figure it out. We know that there were 15 friends altogether, and we know what 6 of them said, and what 5 more of them said, and what 2 more of them said. So what's 6 plus 5? 6 plus 5 is 11. And what's 11 plus 2? 11 plus 2 is 13. Well, that still doesn't tell us about lime, but we're getting close because we know that there were 15 altogether, and we know what 13 of them said. And like the problem said, the rest of her friends voted for lime. So let's graph the easy part. We know that 6 voted for cherry, 5 for grape, and 2 for orange. Great. We have 13 rectangles filled in, colored in. So what's left? 15 minus 13 equals 2. See how helpful this can be? The important thing is to make sure everything is clearly labeled and that all of your work is neat, whether you're using tally charts or a picture chart or a line plot or a bar graph. Everything's got to be nice and neat so that it's easy to read. And if you can do that, you will be a master of charting data. The end.